Chilly morning. Good morning. Friday, April 2nd. Bright sunny day. And we had a full moon the other day, which got unmentioned. Oh well. But the sun is beating in, and look how warm it is in here, 71 degrees. We have our heaters set at 66, so that tells you how sunny it is. Yeah, pretty strange. That's how warm it is over here where the sun is coming in the window, and this is right next to the window, because according to the thermostat, it's still 66 in here. That's interesting. Good morning. It's Barbara. Welcome. Thank you for joining me for coffee. It's a bright sunny day, and it got sunny yesterday. It was, dreary in the morning, but it got all sunny and beautiful, so I thought I was going to be running around yesterday in the rain, and I didn't. I ran around in the sun. I went and got my tooth fixed. I've been going to this dentist for 20 years. He was recommended by a guy Dennis works with, who I knew too. When we came back from Seattle, we moved into this area, so I needed a dentist. And so I took Ken, I can't remember his name, Ken's advice and went to Bill, and I've liked Bill ever since, and that was 20 years ago. 20 years this month we made settlement on this house. Feels like time is flying. But anyway, he took a look at it, and I guess in my, whatever the notes were that the receptionist took or whatever, he thought I had lost the whole filling. But I had just lost, it chipped, and it was so sharp, and I couldn't get my tongue off it. And he's like, oh, I can just grind that a little bit and polish it. I don't need to, do anything really dramatic with that. I'm like, I'm fine with that. All I want is not to hurt my tongue anymore. He's like, okay. And he just, no Novocaine or anything, because it's nowhere near a nerve. Okay, you're good. That's done. And he didn't charge me. I thought that was nice. But I did make an appointment for a teeth cleaning. It's been a year and a half. And now that I have a schedule for my second vaccine, I'm going to go, after a month. So it'll be in June. I get my second vaccine on the 30th. They rescheduled us to the 30th of April. So anyway, that was nice to have that done. And I was running around in the daytime. I stopped at the store for Dennis because he wants to make more yogurt. Oh, speaking of yogurt, I totally forgot that I recorded Dennis unmasking his Kurt. He made Kurt, Q-U-R-T, Kurt. Kurt is a dried yogurt ball that is eaten in the stands like Tajikistan and Mongolia, and it's a snack food, ubiquitous street food in that area of the world, and it is travel food for the Mongols, and Dennis is a big fan of the Mongols, there's a book we read, Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World. I unreservedly recommend it if you have any interest in history. It's based on, and I've talked about this in my podcast, I'm sure, based on newly translated, relatively newly in the last 30 years, translated manuscript called The Secret History that was written about 300 or 500 years after Genghis Khan died. So it's pretty contemporaneous with him, considering how long ago that was. And it was written in Mongolian, which was not a written language, but it was using Chinese characters to convey the Mongolian language. And it took that long for them to figure it out and decipher it. And so this book is based a lot on that manuscript that came to light. And it's really fascinating. Really, really fascinating. And anyway, so Dennis is very into the Mongolians and wants to go to Mongolia. And I'll go with him. So, maybe on the Trans-Siberian Railway, which goes through Mongolia on one of its routes. But anyway, they were pastoralists. So they ate milk and meat. And from the 5 noses, 7 noses, 5 noses, they had 5 different herd animals, or 7, I forget. They call them the noses because they would stick their nose underneath the tent. They were called the noses. So anyway, they made yogurt and dried it, and it was travel food. You put the balls in a little pouch, and then you had your food. So anyway, it's called Kurt, Q-U-R-T, and Dennis made some, and I recorded. He's so funny. Don't you want to video this? I'm like, oh yeah, I do. He's always thinking like, did you video that? Are you going to video that? He's looking out for you guys, let me tell you. So, here's the uncurting of the Kurt.
Interesting.
Oh, they are crumbly. They're good. But, I don't think they're dry all the way through. Are they supposed to be?
Yeah, I think so.
Cut one of those quarters and, actually, it's hard.
It's hard to tell because they're oily a little bit.
Yeah, Dennis used heavy cream when he made the yogurt that these are made from, but they're good. They have salt in them, so they're a little salty. The Mongols eat these for snack, and these are long-term food, i.e. this is like travel food, and the Mongol hordes who used to cross the steppes and, do their thing ate this. But, yeah, I think these are good. Very salty, though. Not too salty, but they give a real salty snack thing. So there you go. Kurt. I think we'll do more of this. Yeah, right.
Well, I think my plan is to let these sit and try like one a month and see how they hold and see how they. Well, we might do more anyway, but I do want to have a test to see how they hold up over time.
It was also a test of your dehydrated the first time you ever used it.
Yeah. So
that was cool too. All right, Kurt. I like it. Cool. It was good. It was good. It seemed a little salty, but it was like, oh, this is a salty snack. Not like, oh, this is too salty. You know what I mean? And so anyway, he's got it wrapped up in cheesecloth and sitting on top of the refrigerator. And so his plan is every month or so to try another one of those balls and see how it lasts over time. Because this is supposed to be, survival food, travel food kind of thing. So we're going to try it out. But he'll probably end up making more of it before we finish those. In the few months it'll take us to try those once a month. So, hey, it's nutritious, it's keto, and it's something fun for Dennis to do. And he had gotten that dehydrator, I don't even know how long ago, and I hadn't used it yet. So this is the first time he's dehydrating anything, and he's dehydrating yogurt. Hey. He's into so many things. Well, you know that. So I talked to my friend Linda last night for quite a long time. We're both really not that good about calling each other, so we tend to call around each other's birthday kind of thing. Her birthday's in November. I think that was the last time I talked to her. So I need to do better about that. But she's the one who lives in Florida. She was about an hour from where Jason and Allison used to live. I don't know how far she is now from them since they moved a little bit north. I don't know where they are anymore because I haven't been down to their new place. They moved like 2 months after we visited, so they moved like in January of 2020. Anyway, and so when she retired, we worked together. We worked together the whole time. She hired me. She hired me as my supervisor, and I'm coming up on, so that would be May 8th, 1984 was when I started working with her. And she was my supervisor, and I worked there for 28 years, 29 years, something like that. And she was my supervisor almost the entire time that I was there, because as she moved up the ranks, I followed in her wake. And so by the time I retired, I was a senior manager, but when she retired, she was a vice president. She retired a couple years after I did. But when she retired, she moved down to Florida. And she's been a good friend for many, 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 many years. Lovely woman. And her daughter lives in Italy. So she hardly sees her kids either. But she got a puppy. Oh my gosh, making her crazy. She got a little puppy, a little tiny mixture. She said that, I don't know if it is 10 pounds or it's going to end up 10 pounds, but it's tiny. I was saying, I got a 2-year-old puppy here, 100 pounds. She says, yeah, mine's going to be 10. But she still has puppy teeth. Anyway, so that's making her crazy, but I think she'll be happy to have companionship down in Florida. You know, who knows how long we're going to want to be really super careful. But she's the one who does watercolors, so between puppies and watercolors, and she knits some. She knits Afghans, so we have a lot in common. And she's a lovely friend. So that was fun to talk to her. So that's what I did yesterday. And I knit for a while I was talking to her. So I have split for the pocketses on my granito. And so I'm on my way down past the pocket beginnings on my granito. And so that was fun, just to sit and knit and talk and make some progress on my granito. It is so gorgeous. And I painted yesterday. Oh, I tore my paper. I tore my paper and I deckled it. See, you can see that it's deckled. Well, I tore it and that deckles it. I didn't do anything special after tearing it. So here's my paper, and I decided that I didn't want to start with a full quarter for my first picture. So I cut one of them, tore one of them in half. So I did, which is the size, you know, kind of the normal size of picture that I've been making. So that worked out good. Let me tell you, my dogs had their nose in that paper so much, especially Maisie, but even Pearl. Something about that paper. Well, it's got sizing and, you know. Anyway, I painted a picture. So this has been on my list of pictures. This is a picture I took, and I asked Dennis, do you know where I took that? He said, Maine? I'm like, oh, could have been Maine. I don't know where I took it. He said, go find it in your camera and see what the date is, and we'll be able to tell. I'm like, yeah, I think it's Maine. Penobscot Bay. That's what I'm guessing. And there's my picture. Now, I really enjoyed painting on this paper. This paper is so thick. I mean, it ended up bending the slightest bit as it was drying in the end, but it did not warp or bubble or do any little bit of reaction to that water while I was painting it, so that was cool. It is rough paper, but I didn't really notice. I mean, I guess when you look at it, you can see the texture of the paper more on this maybe than on other ones I've done. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm glad to be happy with that since I'm still in the middle of Jerry's garden and I'm very unhappy with that. But I'm gonna finish it. Maybe I should work on it a little bit every day and just see if I can do something that'll make me happier with it. But meanwhile, I painted on my big heavy paper and it turned out to be really cool, and I might do that again. I might put on one of those videos where they do a big dramatic sky. I want to do a big dramatic sky. I don't have pictures of big dramatic skies apparently. None of my skies are big and dramatic in my pictures. But I could put a big dramatic sky in any picture I wanted because I'm the boss of my painting. So, it's supposed to be cold today. It's already cold, you can tell, so I'm wearing my not too much. I can't wear my backbone. But I did not get fuzz. I didn't change my sweater. Yesterday I wore my bistro with the alpaca, Surrey alpaca mohair-like yarn in it, and I did not have trouble with my painting. Now, keeping in mind that there was no alpaca in my sleeves, it was just some stripes in my front and the neckline. So the backbone has mohair throughout, everywhere, and so now I'm a little concerned that every day I'm going to wake up and say, oh, I'm going to paint today. I can't wear my backbone, and I may never wear it again. And that will make me really sad because it's one of my new favorites, I can tell you. So maybe I'll just say it's cold. I'm wearing my backbone. If I decide to start to paint, I'll change. Maybe I'll take a substitute sweater downstairs with me so that it's right here and I can just whip it on. Anyway, it did occur to me that it was going to make me sad. So anyway, I am going to knit and paint just like yesterday. I don't have any particular plans to go out. We'll, of course, be walking the dogs. And I slept okay, not great. And my arm hurts. My arm was actually a little achy yesterday. Of course, I was knitting and stuff. And then I'm like, And it hurts where the injection was. You know, the muscle around where that injection happened is sore. And I noticed it was sore last night. I almost got up and got some Advil for it. Maybe I'll take Advil before I go to bed tonight. But other than that, no issues at all. I did go to bed a little earlier than normal last night, but I had gotten up earlier than normal, and I got up a little earlier than normal today too, so maybe I'm just shifting down a little bit. That would be nice. We shall see. Meanwhile, take good care of yourselves, everyone. I'm so grateful that I've been able to get at least one shot, and a lot of you have been saying that you've gotten at least one shot or two. I'm so glad. I know how frustrating it is for the people who want to have a vaccine and aren't able to get on the list or get an appointment, and I hope that all works out for you. Take very good care of yourselves. Be careful. Wear your masks. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe and stay safe.